All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Unbelievable. The Houston Texans just traded for four-time Pro Bowler Stefon Diggs. Unbelievable, folks. What's even worse, not for Texans fans, if you're a Bills fan watching this video, I apologize to you. They gave up nothing. They gave up literally nothing. They're giving up a 2025 second-round pick, which is going to Buffalo. That was from Minnesota. And the Bills are giving a fifth-rounder and a sixth-rounder. A fifth-rounder in 2025 and a sixth-rounder this year. And Stefon Diggs to Houston. Folks, this is insane. The Houston Texans continue to make these just unbelievably crazy moves. It started off with picking up Danielle Hunter in free agency. Folks, on paper, this team is littered with talent. On paper. But what's even worse, if you're a non-Texans fan, is watching this team play football live on the air because they look incredible. They just routed the Cleveland Browns in the wild card round of the playoffs. They just won the division. This is a team. We were making videos on this channel 1 year ago talking about the 3-14 Houston Texans and who they should draft. They had just hired D'Amico Ryans. The turnaround is unbelievable. And now you add Stefon Diggs, a four-time Pro Bowler. I mean, it's crazy. It's literally crazy. This is exactly what you do when you found your franchise guy at the quarterback position. As rare as it is, as crazy it is, you need to make moves to surround him with talent. You need to litter the dude with talent. CJ Stroud just had one of the craziest rookie seasons I'd ever seen. And now in their wide receiver room alone, you have Nico Collins, Stefon Diggs, and Tank Dell. Come on, dude. That's crazy. So welcome back to the channel. Obviously, we're talking about the Houston Texans in today's video. I was not expecting to wake up to a Stefon Diggs trade. I feel like we kind of thought something like this was coming. We knew Houston had some interest there, but I can't believe they actually pulled the trigger. Whenever a move like this happens, it's just kind of shell-shocking. Like, wow, like that is crazy. So welcome back. Obviously, we post a ton of Texans content on this channel. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL videos. Texans fans, if we could try to get this video to 500 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. I do want to apologize real quick. I am still pretty sick, under the weather, so I sound a little bit weird. But CJ Stroud paired up with Joe Mixon, Damian Pierce, Dalton Schultz comes back. A great offensive line. When they're healthy, that O-line is so money. And it's just crazy that you have Tank Dell, whose rookie season was unfortunately cut short. And now you have Nico Collins, who turned into a star wide receiver last year, to pair it up with Stefon Diggs. And I don't want to hear anything about being a diva, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. I don't know what's going on in Buffalo. I don't want to know what's going on in Buffalo. They have not had any playoff success recently. And losing, I'm sure it gets old. And Stefon Diggs is 30 years old. But at the end of the day, man, Buffalo, like, Sean McDermott was like a game away from being fired not too long ago, and then they rattle off all these wins, and they end up making the playoffs, and they play third string Mason Rudolph in the playoffs. I'm not surprised Stefon Diggs got traded in the slightest, and I don't think there's a single Houston Texan fan out there in the entirety of the world that is worried about his attitude, because the Houston Texans culture and the vibe and the energy of that locker room, especially under D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud, the rookie QB entering year 2, it's completely different. These are just professionals. These are like adults. These guys want to get better. They all have championship Super Bowl aspirations. There's going to be no drama, in my opinion, with Stefon Diggs in Houston. I think he just needed a change of scenery. Sometimes you just need that in life in general, let alone if you're a star wide receiver. Sometimes you just need a change of scenery, right? So, folks, offensively, they're loaded. They were already loaded. That's the craziest part about it. This move 100% turns them into Super Bowl contenders, and I mean legitimate Super Bowl contenders. I get it. They were on their way to it, but this definitely just picks up the pace. CJ Stroud's rookie season picked up the pace. Folks, let's take a look at the defense really quickly here. Will Anderson Jr., right? They got a lot of dogs all across the defense. They did end up losing a bunch of players like Blake Cashman and Jonathan Greenard because they were on kind of one-year prove-it deals, right? And they got better defensively. Everyone was so worried in day one of free agency when they lost all these players, all these starters who just kind of became starters last year under D'Amico Ryans. and they just like literally only got better. Like their entire roster on paper is talented. The only thing that's going to hinder Houston, like every championship contender out there, every Super Bowl contender, is health. That's literally it. And there's not many players on this team where I have injury concerns about in general. Some of these new additions, Danico Autry, I think that was a move that just flew under the radar. Most Tennessee Titan departures, I feel like in general, fly under the radar. If you are a Texans fan watching this video right now, you know how good Danico Autry is, right? The dude's a beast. He's a tank. We're going to pair him up with Daniel Hunter, who had almost 20 sacks this past season, is a multi-year Pro Bowler. Daniel Hunter is the definition of a superstar on the edge position, and we're going to pair him up with Will Anderson Jr. coming off a great rookie season. They also made a new move at the linebacker position, and Azeez Al-Shaair, I think he's on his way to stardom, and I think he will be a star linebacker under DeMeco Ryans and this Houston Texans defense. They also did bring in Jeff Okudah, CJ Henderson, and a couple other players, but we'll talk about that on a different day. Their defense, folks, the point is this with defense, they were still the 11th best defense last year, and they got so much better defensively. They just added, in my opinion, these two moves with like Danielle Hunter and Stefon Diggs. They laid the foundation last season, right? And they had a lot of talented players. Like Greener, super talented, right? He had a great season. Blake Cashman, phenomenal season. These are really talented players. But they went out there and they got already existing superstars that have changed games and have won games single-handedly and can make big-time plays when you get into the playoffs, right? These are guys, Danielle Hunter and Stefon Diggs, like these are just players that make plays. That's why they get paid the big bucks. That's why they're superstars. And this is 100% game changing. Like it just isn't even close. Stefon Diggs, for example, last season on a quote unquote down year, 107 catches, 1,200 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns. The year before it, 108 catches, almost 1,500 receiving yards, 11 touchdowns. Like the dude's made a Pro Bowl in his last 4 seasons. So I don't want to hear anything about, he's only 30 years old. It's not like he's super old or anything like that. And once again, we all know CJ Stroud, phenomenal rookie season. Absolutely blew everybody away. Their one big kind of weakness last year was inconsistency at the running back position, and that's why they picked up Joe Mixon, who hasn't fumbled in like years. Watch out. I mean, they're right up there, in my opinion, now with teams like Cincinnati, like 100,000%. Houston is going to be a good Super Bowl predicted team this upcoming season, even without the Stefon Diggs trade. So buckle up. Buckle up, Buttercup, because it's about to get real. It just got real, and it's been real. That's the thing about it. So unbelievable A-plus move. They traded practically nothing, and yeah, sorry, Bills fans, that's crazy. But I guess that needed to be done. Texans fans, let me know your thoughts on this trade. Let me know your thoughts on this team. Give me a grade rating down below. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, and we'll dissect this as the week goes on.